Stop microphone. Let's see if I've got it set up right. Good morning. Let me know if you can hear me, please, and thank you. Good morning. Yay, we have sound. That's always a good thing. Good morning, good morning. Yay, I picked the right buttons to make the microphone work today, so that's a good thing. Now if we can just keep Facebook cooperating and Zoom cooperating, it will be even better morning. What better than that? How was everybody's evening? I went home and I did some work. Shocking. No, I had to finish my presentation for AccuQuilters, which is this morning. So had to do a little more experimenting on a couple of things I'm going to share. Yeah, it did rain a lot last night. I know I wasn't sure when I got up this morning if I was going to have a lake outside or if I was going to be able to, but I think the sun is out. So hopefully it will continue, although it was quite windy. It was not that windy when I left the house this morning, but by the time I drove the 2 miles to work, the wind at Material Girls is way more powerful than it is at my house. So it hopefully that will stop blowing here soon as well. So got some early risers this morning up and multitasking. Good job. Good job. I'm proud. I was up early. I cleaned. Let's put it this way. I got up early and I straightened up my sewing room. I had a ton of stuff that I needed to put away and reorganize from classes this week and last week. And all of that is just kind of hot mess. I got a new printer this week because my printer died on Thanksgiving. So the printer arrived this week. It's still sitting in the box, but I cleaned off that area. That'll be tonight's installation. Hopefully it's goes easily. So, well, good morning, everybody again. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for a special guest presentation. I'm so glad that the books arrived and that this worked, because I don't think I could have finished both AccuQuilters and whatever I would have planned to do today for Breakfast Club. So we're very happy that shipping coordinated well enough to get books here. So I am this morning going to turn over the microphone and the screen controls to Miss Tina, who's right here behind me. We have a virtual presentation, trunk show there she is, on Tina's new book called Poppin' with Wings, covering the, there it is, covering the Studio 180 wing clipper, corner pop 2 and 3. See, I did my research. I read a book last night too. Yeah, I feel like I was going to be on the news interviewing an author. So, they always read the books before. So I spent the evening reading the book. Well, it may have been 3 o'clock this morning. I read the book, but that's okay. So I'm going to control answering questions. It's going to be exciting. I can actually watch and answer questions for everybody this morning. First. Exactly. It could be the first. I don't have to multitask. I'm going to hand the microphone to Tina so that she can put the mic on, and that way you can hear her loud and clear. And I'm going to go ahead and share her presentation so that we are ready to go. All right.
Now that we can kick Amy out of the way.
That's right. Kick me out of the room.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I want to get started. I want to thank Amy and Robin and Mr. Mike for letting me come in early and getting this presentation done. I will be here all day, virtually all day, do sign books, do demos for the Studio 180 also. So this feels weird because I don't have see the screen at all. Bear with me because I'm used to having two screens on my computer. So let's get started. I gotta figure out how this goes. Oh, there we go. My book is called Poppin' with Wings. You can tell what it means. It's virtually, we're taking the corner pop tools and we're popping some of the wings of the flying geese units that we're doing. So we're making stunning quilts with a pop. Many of you don't know me, so I'm going to give you a little background about me. My name is Tina Dillard. I'm the designer behind Quilting Affection Designs, and I live in Waldorf, so I'm a local person here in town. I started my business in 2016 when I found my love of developing patterns. I've been developing myself over the last couple years, and I've been shopping down here since I started doing this. So in 2018, I took a jump. I became part of the Studio 180 design family as a certified instructor. So that was a big jump for me because I had very little background in teaching, but with Amy's help, I developed a little bit myself a little bit better as a teacher and became stronger. And I still teach down, we were teaching down here, teaching Studio 180's classes. Since then, I became a designer for the patterns for the Studio 180 design tools. I work with Timeless Treasure fabrics a lot, and Island Batik. I was an Island Batik master for 4 years. So that's a little bit about myself. So why this book? Well, in last year, January, and I were coming back from Quilt Market, Fall Quilt Market. January helped me down there with my booth, and we were so excited and so focused on fresh ideas. We wanted to focus more on patterns with the new corner pop tools, because I just released my first pattern with the corner pop tools, Crystal Glacier, that you probably have seen down here before they had to shut down, and I taught a class on it. We had several ideas running through our heads. I started writing for one book, but we ran into a few bumps in the road, so I was determined still to write the book. So I backtracked to another idea that we had and refocused on the book idea concept. The idea was to take the flying geese and give them an extra kick by using the Studio 180 design, corner pop 2 and 3 tools, and that's where Poppin' with Wings was born. Let me give you some features of the book. We have 125 pages full of images, cutting charts. They're contemporary to modern quilts, ranging from wall size to lap size. Some of them you can make bigger and some you can't. A total of 8 projects. So 4 of the projects use the wing clipper one, the first wing clipper, and the corner pop 2. The second half of the book uses the wing clipper and the corner pop 3. So you don't have to buy both tools at the same, well, you don't have to buy, you can buy either one of the tools at the time, which one you want to make for the quilt. Now, all my quilts in this book were made from basic and blender fabric collections that you can pick up at any quilt store. I bought it right here. So I bought most of the fabrics before they shut down right here in this store. So that's where I got my fabrics for this quilt. It has easy to follow step-by-step instructions, just like my patterns, on how to use the Studio 180 tools, featuring right and left-handed cutting instructions. Each of the projects have been fully tested by me, because I believe in testing my patterns before I hand it off to the my testers, and then I pass it off to more Studio 180 design certified instructors for testing further. So they has been fully tested. Now, another feature I don't have listed here is there's a foreword from Deb Tucker herself in this book. So she wrote a personal foreword for me, and it's a beautifully done. It really complements my work in this book. So what I want to go through now is the tools. Since I'm a certified instructor with the Studio 180, I want to kind of give you a background, kind of a brief rundown of how the tools work, starting with the wing clipper. The wing clipper is a trim down tool for the traditional flying geese units. They create high precision flying geese. You make them over, like any of the Studio 180 design tools, we make every unit large and then we trim down to size. So we have, the wing clipper does 10 different sizes, right-handed and left-handed instructions, which is great for me because I'm left-handed. But for you righties, it's really straightforward. Now I'm going to be showing you most of the trim down sections, the sections as a right-hand person, because we're just lack of time and it's too many screens, pictures to show. So that's what I'm going to do, is right-handed. So to get started with the flying geese, we're going to make the no waste method, which is a large square plus 4 small squares will equal 4 flying geese units. We're going to mark on from your corner to corner 1/4 inch diagonally to mark our stitching lines. We're going to position those 2 small squares on each corner, and we're going to then stitch on those lines that we just created. But you want to make sure you're also nudging 2 small squares toward the center to bring them into towards the smaller squares, because you're going to get a little extra wiggle room for your trim down. Once you stitch those lines, you can cut them apart. I use my wing clipper because there is a 1/4 inch line, dash line on the tool. You're going to press towards the wings. Then you're going to add your remaining squares. You're going to again nudge them in about 2 to 3 threads from the large square. You're going to then stitch on those lines again, cut down the middle. You can see that I'm using the wing clipper to do this. Now, these pictures will be in the book also, so you can have references in the book. You're going to press towards the wing, and then you're going to have 4 squares. You're going to have your 4 flying geese. Now it's time to trim. You're going to line up your tool think I have a screen on this. Yep, you're gonna line up your tool with the diagonal guidelines of your wing clipper on the seams of your flying geese unit. And again, this is for right-handed. You're gonna trim your first two sides down. And then you're gonna pick up your tool, you're gonna rotate your flying geese unit and reposition your wing clipper on the tool. Again, mark where the lines will meet on the V. That's where you're going to line that up, and your trim that you just made before that is going to line up on the size of unit you're making. So in this picture, we're using a 2.5 by 4.5 unfinished unit. So the middle is going to be lining up on the X between the 1.5 and the 2.5. So that is the basic rundown of the wing clipper tool. Going into the corner pop tools, these are the newest tools on, except for the new Star 60 and the Wedge Star. These are newer on the market. Most of you are probably familiar with the original corner pop tool where you do a 45-degree angle. Well, these are a little bit different. You're going to get a longer, narrower one pop out of these. There are 21 different sizes available with these tools, each of these tools. You're going to allowing you to remove the front, left slant or right slant of a corner. You're going to get an accurate trimmed away corner, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and they're going to be oversized as usual. Corner pop 2 is designed as a 2.1 ratio triangle to any as high as they are wide. As you can tell with the screen here, you have a wider but short sides to them. Corner pop 3 is a 3-to-1 ratio, and you can see in the picture here that it's 3 times as tall as it is wide. So it makes a spikier look. The anatomy of the corner pop tool is the same as for both tools. You're going to have a cutaway section, corner section, which is going to be for cutting away from a base unit. You have your replacement triangle lines for cutting your replacement triangles. There's also dotted half lines for marking every 1/2 inch on the tool, and the corner trim down lines are going to be for the trim downs at the end. Now, the first thing you need to do is determine what you're going to be making, a type 1 or a type 2 cut away. Type 1s are going to slant, and you're going to be cutting from, and when you do that, your base shape, which can be anything you can start with. You can start with a 1/2 square triangle. You can start with a flying geese unit. You can start with a corner beam, or whatever unit you would like to start with, or just a regular square, which I'm showing here. Your base shape, you're going to start with it right sides up on the mat. You're going to place your replacement triangles are going to be placed right sides up, and then when you trim, you're going to trim away from the wrong side up on the mat. Type 2s are done the opposite way. They're going to slant from the bottom to base shape is placed on the mat wrong side up, and the replacement triangles, they're going to be wrong side up also, the strip, and the trim finished unit will be trimmed from the right side up. So they're both opposite each other, so it depends on which way you want to cut your unit. So what do you do when you want to start something? Well, you start with a base shape and you cut some replacement triangles. In this unit, we're going to be using a replacement triangle 1, type 1, and a replacement triangle 2. Okay, so cutting replacement triangles. These are going to be always slightly oversized. So don't worry about it when you're sewing them on, because we're always going to trim down. So what you do is you take your corner pop tool, which I'm using, I think the 2 in this one, and we're going to we're going to cut off the salvage of our strip, place it right side up, and when we place our tool on there, we're going to find that replacement triangle cut line, which is going to be marked on your tool, and you're going to put that replacement line on the edge of that strip, and your bottom number should be the size of your strip. So we're using a 4-inch strip here. We're lining up that number 4 at the bottom. Now you'll notice that there's an extra hangover on that tool. That is just fine. Just leave that alone. Okay. So the next then you're gonna cut along the angle. Your next cut, you're gonna position the top edge of the tool on the strip, and like it was before, you're gonna position that 1/2-inch line of the tool on the opposite. You're going to place it right on that strip at the bottom, like you can see in this picture here. And you're going to cut up straight up. That'll be your second cut. And then you're going to just repeat your process as you go through this. So this is what it looks like when you cut 2 units. For cutting your type 2 side triangles, they're done the same way, except wrong sides up, sorry. And you're going to place that, again, you're going to place that triangle cut line, and you're going to position that bottom strip at the same, at the bottom line on the strip. Now you can use a full strip, not cutting it in half, and leave them together, and just make sure the wrong sides are together or the right sides are together, and you'll get a matching pair if you needed to. For your next cut, like it's just the same way. You're going to position the top edge of the tool on the strip and position the 1/2-inch dash line on the tool with the point of the opposite side of the strip. And again, the wrong sides are up. And this is what it would look like with the wrong sides up cut. So you can cut multiples at the same time. Now, what we're going to do with this base unit, we're going to take the cutaway corner side, we're going to do its type 1 first, and we're going to cut away 4 inches of this square. So you're going to take that cut line, and you're going to place that on the edge of your square, or your whatever shape you're going to be using, the flying geese. It could be a combination of flying geese or your half square triangles, quarter square triangles, whatever you want to use, and you can do that. And you're going to line that up on the cutaway side. So then you're going to, once you have that cut, you're going to align or lay out your base unit and your replacement triangle. You're going to flip that base unit over on top of that side replacement triangle, stitch, because you want to make sure that you can see all the excess of that side replacement triangle, and you're going to press the seams. Now you can press seams open or to the side. In a lot of my patterns, I like to press them open because it's easier and you have less bulk and it's easier for trim down. Which brings us to trim down. Trim down is fairly easy. We're going to place, for type 1, we're going to place the unit wrong sides up, and we're going to find that size that we want to trim down to is a 4-inch. We're going to place that on the seam. This is where I like to press the seams open so we can see our seam exactly. We're not going to hang over or off the sides of that seam. That's why I like to have it pressed open, because you can actually get into the center. You're going to use the corner trim down section and line that trim down line right on that seam. You're going to use your dash lines to line up the size of your square, and you can cut straight up and across. For the cutaway corner type 2, we're going to remove another side of this square. We already had type 1 on put on. We're going to put a type 2 now on. We're going to place, you're going to figure out where you want to put that on. And then you're going to place your tool on there again, putting that cutaway line wrong sides up, on the wrong side up of that tool. So you could do all your trim down, turn around, and then go ahead and cut your next corner down before you move on to the next unit. So, and this is fairly similar to a corner beam. You could do a corner beam, but for this unit, we're using the corner pop 2 tool. So you're going to lay it out. You're going to flip your unit over and stitch again. Press the seams. We're going to do a trim down. Since we're doing a type 2, we're going to do our unit up with the our unit facing up, so we're going to trim down. We're going to place that trim down line again on the seam line. So that's the basics of what you could do, and you can see what the unit looks like when you get it completely finished, trimmed down, ready. So what you could do to show you what it looks like when you cut your flying geese. So I took some flying geese, I combined them with a triangle. I cut off a corner and of that flying geese unit, and with that combination unit there, put a side triangle on it, trimmed it down, and then I cut another side unit, the type 2 off, and sewed another type 2 replacement triangle and squared it all up, and that's what your unit looks like. So each time you do something different, it changes the whole aspect of your flying geese. So to show you what those units would look like you're going to be making. So when you get them all cut, we're going to lay them out. So you have your units that we made in the demo section, which is a corner pop tool. And this is actually using the 3. We're combining it with some flying geese units and some 4.5-inch squares. So when you sew them together into this block, this is what you get. It's a stunning looking block. It's very spiky look. So what does the block look like together? You get this. This is called loose, and you'll see this when we do the trunk show also. So by taking the wing clipper, the corner pop tool, 3 tools from the Studio 1A design, you're going to find new designs that will spring to life around the units. Whatever pop you do, it's fun to experiment and to see what it does. Once you learn the corner pop tool techniques, with combining them with the flying geese, you'll have a great starting point to build upon and open to new possibilities and bring your quilts, or even old quilts, to life. So they're fun to play with. I encourage you to try one, just to experiment with this. I have some demos I'll be doing down here today on the tools to show you what each unit would look like with a different flying geese unit popped. And you can see them in the structure, in the quilts here. So now let's take a look at our quilts. I want to get my notes out for these quilts. So hang on. So the first quilt in the book is Asterisk Star. Asterisk Star is the key. The key to this quilt is the background colors. They'll bring out the stencil look of this. You can see a stencil look in the middle of the quilt. And this one I used forest colors and chose a wall hanging size. So like I said, I make a lot of these wall hangings. There's a few lap sizes in here also. This is a 64 by 64, and this first section is corner pop 2s with the wing clipper. Echoing Star. This quilt is, I think, one of my favorites. That's why I chose it for the cover. I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but there's another favorite in here also, so hang on. The shapes inside shapes add a lot of fun into the quilt, and you can see the circular motion of this one, of this quilt. Brings the circles, and the X's bring out the quilt shapes of this one. And I do have all these quilts with me today, so when you get to that, if you come down, I will have them here and you can look at them up close. Now, January did all the quilting on all of these, so you can see how beautiful these are. Nautical Sails. This one, I could see sailboats when I made this one, designed this one. So I wanted to stick with this theme. You can feel the wind blowing. And I wanted to add some of our patriotic colors to this. So this one I would actually be great for the Quilts of Valor quilt. It is a 58 by 82 size quilt. So if someone was in a wheelchair, it'd be perfect for them. It's long to cover them up, keep them warm. But I love the feel of this quilt. And you can actually make this bigger if you wanted to, wider. So it gives you the feel of freedom and of the water of this quilt. Scrappy Spinner. This one is a great one. It helps you break out your scraps of your bin. You can use multiple sizes of multiple types of fabrics. You can add a lot to this. It is designed to break out your scrap bin, have fun with oversized. This is a lap size quilt. Relax, have fun with the pops, making the spinning diamond shapes, the spinning elements in this quilt. Again, just have fun with quilt when you're popping. This one actually would be great bigger also. Blossoming Sakura. I was designing this quilt at the same time as Cherry Blossom. So I felt the warmth of the Cherry Blossom Festival that we didn't get to see this year, but I still felt it in the quilt as I was designing this. So I wanted to bring out some of the colors of the cherry blossoms in this one. Now I've seen this one in different greens and blues. One of my testers did. So this one's very versatile in very different colors. So I love this quilt. Again, these are all blenders and basic fabrics that Amy has in the shop. Loose, you saw how we made that one. We did all the pops of this one for the flying geese. So this one is so fun. When I designed this one, I wanted a modern quilt. So when I looked at this, I was going, this looks like arrows flying through coming to the end of their point of the landing. So that's why I called it loose. This is a very modern quilt, and it's fairly easy to do and make. And you can make it even bigger if you wanted to. I just made this one's a 48 by 48, and this one has no borders to this one. You could add borders if you wanted to. Now we're getting to, actually we started into the corner pot threes. Petal Spinner is another fun quilt. Now this one, I used the fabric collection that Amy had down here before they shut down for the COVID. But I added some other elements to it, some pack borders for the center of the spins and stuff. So the spinning comes from the use of the fan shapes that are coming into making the interest of this one. Again, this one can be expanded. I just wanted to do a 60 by 60. These are fairly big blocks in here. So you can actually probably do another one across and another one and make a nice big bed blanket quilt for you. Now I used two different colors schemes. I used a blue and a pink, but you can change your colors up for this one. There's a lot of pops in this one, and you can see the diamond shapes in this also. There's a lot of movement in the spinning of these fan blades, are what I would call. But I felt more of the wind taking the petals and spinning them around in the air. Mirrored Ombre is my last quilt. Is 58 by 70. What I did with this one is January challenged me to make an ombre quilt. Well, she also challenged me to make a scrappy quilt. Well, I did that too. So with this one, I wanted to take the ombre and bring it from light to dark. And I've done this in this one. It's a gentle flow of cool tones in this quilt. You can take this even further if you wanted to, add more color shades to it. I have like 5, I think, in this one. And you can expand this quilt also. This is a great lap size quilt. So how do you follow me? You can follow me on www.quiltingaffection.com, and I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Now, if you're interested, I have a Facebook group called Quilting Affection Groupies, and each month I release a brand new block on the 10th, which I'm getting ready to release another block, and it covers the Studio 180 design tools. It is a free block. All you have to do is sign up for my newsletter. And you get a free pattern each month. And it's a great way to practice your tools if you have them and everything. So that's all I have for you.
Yay! Let's give Tina a round of thumbs and hearts. Show her some love. Thank you so much.
You got a day off.
Yeah, I did get a day off, and I always appreciate days off. So we appreciate you joining us here this morning. I hope you enjoyed this little guest presentation. We will be back next Saturday morning at 8:30. I am going to cover tile scenes or embroidery, machine embroidered tile scenes. So we'll talk about a couple of different techniques, how to do them successfully, both embroider them and piece them together. So that'll be next Saturday. So we hope that you guys will come see us today, come see Tina, and we will see you soon. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great Saturday and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you all soon. Bye.